Welcome back, coders, to another quick video. I am going to be taking you through a pretty cool game, at least a super alpha version of this game, Star Citizen. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. If you follow anything sci-fi, space, simulator, anything like that, you'd really this might have hit your radar. It definitely hit my radar, but I have been viewing from a far distance for quite some time because basically it looks like a pipe dream. All of the things that they want to do are incredibly admirable, and if they can pull them off, it would be absolutely mind-blowing. And I really hope they do. But I did get a chance finally, because they released a public alpha for the first time in a long time. And correct me if I'm wrong there. So sorry, I'm, again, brand new to this kind of game, to this specific game, and haven't been following it that closely. But there was something that had hit the news that I had to check out, and that was this phenomenal idea that they built a planet-sized city. And when I mean planet-sized, I mean legitimately it's an entire planet that is covered in a city. And I thought that has to be something I check out. It has to be something I showcase on the channel. So here we are. Today we're taking a look at exactly that, and I gotta say there's both incredibly highs and incredibly lows in this alpha, but keep in mind that this is super early footage and not to be assumed to be the final product, obviously. But what you're looking at here are some of the incredibly highs. Early on in this footage, you'll notice that we fly in. And again, it took me a while to kind of get a hold of the systems. I started off on one space station, had to figure out how to call my ship, had to figure out how to fly my ship, had to figure out how to not fast travel, but basically spool up my hyperdrive and take that over to this planet that's across the entire solar system, essentially, which is mind-blowing, just the scale that they've put into the game already. And then when I pull up to this planet, I see lights everywhere, the entire planet just covered in this massive metropolis. And looking at it, I say to myself, no, there's no way that this is possibly covered entirely with geometry and it's landable and searchable and stuff like that. And so I was both right and wrong. First of all, I was dead wrong on the fact that this planet is entirely covered in geometry. It absolutely is. You go down to the surface, you start flying around that surface. Doesn't matter what station you end up choosing or area you end up choosing. There's going to be like incredible New York metropolis-sized city buildings and traffic running and all this incredible stuff and this detail that just I still can't fathom. Like, it's absolutely incredible. And that part was absolutely the moment that said, this game needs to be more on my radar now. But then there was the quick realization that with anything of this scale, the issue that continues to arise is that you just cannot handcraft the rest of this world to be unique and individualized and explorable in a way that you really, like, at least I am craving for, something that you can pull off. So while all this stuff is, you can fly through it and see the cities, there's limitations. You can't go to a certain altitude with your ship. I don't know for sure if you can get out of your ship and wander around on foot, but I would assume this geometry would let you fall through it. Like, I haven't really gotten a chance to try it, but based upon my later footage, which you'll see here in a second, when you start to wander around an actual station, especially the only explorable one, which I think is called Station 18, but you'll see it in the footage, so just go ahead and check that out if you want to go explore yourself, because the alpha is still currently available. Only for a couple more days by the time this video posts, I think. But essentially, when you start to look for those parts that really will connect you to the world in a way that feels lived in and I don't know, existed in, it starts to fall apart. That illusion is what it is. It's an illusion. It's just a massive, kind of randomly generated city that covers this entire planet. So while they, exactly like I said, nailed one half of it, the other half doesn't come to fruition. I want to believe that it will, but the absolute scale of this and the fact that this is not the focus of the game just leads me to believe there's no chance that that ever comes comes across. So if you're looking to get into this game for that reason alone, I think that is not a viable reason. Now let's go ahead and talk about the actual station that I pulled up into. Again, station 18 or 17. We'll see here in the footage. You'll see if you're watching it live. That station is awesome. It's exactly what you hope it would be across the entire planet. You pull up, you land your ship. First of all, you have to call in, which I think was kind of trippy for me at first. I had to do some research on wikis. If I leave all of this together, you'll notice me in and out of menus constantly. That's not the game's fault. That's just me not knowing the systems or understanding what I need to be a space pirate or a space captain. The fact of the matter is that I had to hail in, say I need a pad, and then they gave me an assigned pad, and if I don't fly into that pad, they won't let me land. The fact that you have to manually drop your landing gear and kind of manually gimbal your ship in slowly, I just think is so cool and so simulator heavy in a way that's not too aggressive. But once I figured that out and I pulled into the station, even if I did end up getting my ship hauled into some sort of weird bay afterwards because I didn't do it right, you can see that it highlights a specific bay that you have to go into, and from there then you can explore the rest of this incredible station, which I gotta say gave me vibes of Blade Runner and some of those incredible pieces of cinema and just I don't know, creative genius that's out there. And when you start exploring the city, it truly does feel like that next generation, that super experience that you've never really gotten but always hoped for. So those are the moments that were truly great, but you quickly start to notice exactly what you see in the giant city that's the cityscape that covers the planet, in that there is only this section of the world that is truly explorable on foot. And so while I really, really hope that expands and becomes more viable and becomes more explorable and maybe more moddable in terms of as the player base grows and things like that, maybe they can impact things. It's not there yet, and so I wanna advise people away from what they think this game might be, and more start to look into what this game actually is, which is a truly interesting and innovative space simulator that may very well pull off a lot of what it's trying to accomplish, just not all of it. So don't buy into the hype, but that doesn't mean that there isn't hype that you should be interested in. So I would love to let you just guys watch the rest of this footage and kind of get a feel for what this game's all about. You'll notice my rig was running it, but it stuttered. That's just the technical state the game is in. It's mostly networking, I think, not so much rendering, because I noticed that as I got more into the game, that stabled out. Sorry about the sound. Again, that stabilized out and became more playable until I went to new areas and stuff like that. So I assume they'll get better at that. Again, this is a smaller studio that just got a ton of money handed to it through Indiegogo and things like that. I think it was Indiegogo. But either way, I think it's an absolutely impressive game. It needs to be polished so much. So much. It's easily 5 years from release in my eyes, and if it gets released before then, it'll still be broken. I truly don't think that it's anywhere close to where it needs to be, but I do think that it's got absolute incredible kernels of just brilliance. So hope you enjoyed this video. Keep watching. Let me know what you think at the end of the video. Maybe leave a comment on some of the cool things that you hope to see, want to see, or questions you might have, and I'll try to answer those. And make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, stay classy, coders.
Stand clear. Doors are now closing. tram now approaching. City Flight is proud to be the official transportation service provider.
Hey. Buy something or get out. That's pretty much everything.
Centre for Business Development. Please consult any of our associates for help or rental opportunities.